moving on, Web3 Outposts. Now this is sort of a series of projects that have been on my sort of back burner for some time, and they're starting to come to fruition. And as they do, I'm kind of pivoting my focus increasingly towards them, with the idea of trying to bring Web3 into meat space. So really kind of community spaces, if you like. What are they specifically? Well, rules-based, collaborative, high-tech work-life space. Community spaces, but rules-based community spaces. Web3 is a rules-based concept, right? It's like key parts of it are rules-based. It's about fulfilling expectations, the expectations of the users primarily. And in order to fulfill expectations in spaces, well, you need to have clear rules for the spaces, rules of interaction, manners, politeness, language expectations, and so forth. And different spaces, of course, may have different rules associated with them. And you do, of course, need some means of enforcing the rules, right? Security mechanisms. What they intended for? Well, a bunch of stuff, outreach, community, experimentation in particular, integration between various different aspects of life, at least bits of life that I think are interesting. Web3 blockchain, meat space enterprise, like selling stuff, providing services, drinks, food, whatever, art, culture, and adjacent technologies that are adjacent to Web3, but not Web3 itself. Some things are going to be much more focused on I should say, outposts, will be much more focused on some of these things than others. But that's the sort of broad area. Why are they different to any other community space? Well, because they're blockchain-based, right? Want to create these rules-based spaces on the back of actual technology, not just a community area where people who like the technology kind of go. Now, some of these community sort of areas have maybe got a burner wallet thing where you can spend stuff. I've seen this before. You maybe have sort of tokens that you can spend. But we want to take it much, much further. We want to have, for example, rooms and a booking system and that tie into collectives and groups that exist on chain, such that someone, without giving away their identity even, can become a part of become a part of a collective, can book a room in a Web3 outpost, can make their way all the way through security gates into the place, all the way to their room, just by using their phone, QR code, similar to how Polkadot Vault works. And this should all be done without there needing to be a single person who is administering it. It should all be autonomous. This is the kind of system that I think that interests me. This is the kind of space, physical space that interests me to build. And the idea is that when these systems are created and in use, we can minimize costs, we can minimize overhead, we can minimize the trust needed to be placed. Like, imagine a bar where you don't actually need to sort of trust that the bar steward is actually doing much other than serving particular drinks. You don't need to do stock control, you don't need to do, I don't know, whatever else. Security, I suppose. This is what I would quite like to focus on in the not too distant future. How do we manage it? Individuality, very important. We need to be able to ban people if they're bad. Space provision, on-chain groups. We already have started in this, of course, the fellowship, Kusama Society being a couple of examples here. Old-fashioned crypto. Hardware, door locks, integrations, WhatsApp bots, and effective user interface. The last one is very important. Very, very important. So what we got under development, the Emergent College is the biggest, and that is going to be the subject of a talk that is coming next. No, not quite next. Demo first, then that talk. Then there's also the Kusama Bar, or Club Kusama, which has been almost open for some years now. and I'm hoping that we will actually get it open in the not too distant future, and another bar in Malta.